50 points if you got that whole thing correct. Just out of curiosity's sake, raise your hand if you got 50 on that last one. If you got it right. Cool. Cool. Okay, let's do this next one. So first, 2 times 5 gives me 10x squared. Outer, 2 times 2 gives me minus 4x. Inner, minus 5x. Last, a negative and a negative gives me a positive. I have 2 negatives here, so I'm getting a bigger negative number. Raise your hand if you got 50. Good. Good. Okay. I hope you're realizing we've now spent, today's gonna be our 3rd class on doing FOIL, on doing the same just multiplication. Do you realize how important this is? We're spending 3 classes on one topic. Partially because I wasn't here one of the days, but I really want to make sure that everyone's really strong at this before we go on. It's going to get a little bit more difficult, not a ton, but a little bit more. So I just want to make sure you're all really solid at this. Okay, erase your boards. We're going to do 3 more.
Do we keep our points?
Keep your points. So max score right now is 150. Okay. I'm only going to do 2 now. These questions are going to be slightly bigger. 2 questions. So you have a little bit more space on your boards. These are each going to be 60 points. So take a few minutes, try these ones, and then I'll go over them. And go through them. If you're still plugging away, keep plugging away. So this first one, there's a bonus minus 15 here. This shouldn't be too tricky to deal with. Otherwise, it's just FOIL as we've been doing. So first, I get 2 times 5x gives me 10x squared. Outer 2 times 5 gives me plus 10x inner minus 5x. 1 times 5 gives us minus 5. Repeat, just writing that minus 15. From here, you're combining your like terms. 10 minus 5 gives me a positive 5x. Minus 5 minus 15, I get minus 20. So, dealing with this subtracting 15 is bonus 10 points. I'm curious, this, like, you would never do this, but I just wanted you guys to recognize this. I could actually rewrite this question to be this. Is that true?
Probably. That's true.
Yeah. Because I said I could. Good. Right, all as I did is I factored out a 5. 5 was common between all three of those. If I multiplied this 5 back in, I'm going to still get 10x squared, 5x, and then the minus 20. Just want to make sure you guys are recognizing this. That's just your property backwards. Go ahead, Matt.
So, will the total for that question be 60 points?
Yes, 60 points.
Okay.
Okay, next question. You can deal with this one in a couple different ways. I'm going to deal with this minus 1 at the very end. If you did it initially, that's fine. You should still get the same answer as me. So rewriting that minus 1, 2x times 3x gives me 6x squared. 2x times 4 gives me plus 8x. 3 times 3x gives me plus 9x. 3 times 4 is 12. I'm going to clean that up on my inside first. So I get 6x squared. 8 plus 9 is 17x plus 12. Now I'm going to distribute that negative 1 in. So basically just changing all of my signs. Negative 6x squared minus 17x minus 12. If you put, did anyone put that negative 1 in first? A few of you. Okay, so if you did it that way, you would have had then like minus 2x minus 3 times 3x plus 4. Totally fine. You should get the same answer, just your steps will be slightly different. Raise your hand if you got those two correct. Nice. Not bad, guys. So those two would have been out of 120 for a grand total of 270 points. Raise your hand if you're above 230. Cool. Cool. Good work, guys. Let's do 2 more of these slightly trickier ones, and then we'll go to that worksheet from yesterday.
Are these scored as well?
Yep, totally.
How many for each?
Let me write them out first. So this first one is going to be out of 80. I strongly encourage on questions like this that you're writing out your work, especially on the first one. baffles me how much that happens. Like they're just that easy to knock off, eh?
Now you have it all in here, but this side just comes off.
Like it slides out of this little thing.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be broken.
I know, me too.
That is impressive. I feel like not many people have not broken them. How many have been like completely broken? Like you've had to replace them? Do you know of anyone?
I've never seen one.
I don't think they've replaced any, because if these fall off,
good.
you can just put these back on, so they're not gonna replace that, so
Yeah,
it's
but
like fully shattered on the figure.
They're not like glued or anything.
No, it's just slid
They're
in.
just,
It's just,
it's the same as these, they're just
Right.
pinching it.
we have this.
One kid in grade 8 like shattered his. It just fell enough times that it just got that much weak. I don't know. I didn't see it, but apparently it was in like many pieces. So he's had to go to a completely new one. But grade 8 still don't have like body awareness. So they still turn suddenly and like they fall off like 7 times a class. Okay, you guys ready to go over these? Yeah? These ones are trickier, hey? So subtle differences can add this up. So this first one I said out at 80 points. So this first piece, you don't have to rewrite it. I'm going to. Make sure you think of it this way though. Oops, that's a 3. It's not just putting that exponent on each piece. The second piece, I'm going to distribute this minus sign right away. So this is really saying minus 4x plus 1. Doing that right there was 10 marks a piece. So this is worth 10 points and that's worth 10 points. Okay, so now going back to my binomial. So 3 times 3 gives me 9x squared. 3 times 3 is minus 9x. Minus 9x plus 9. Then that, just rewriting minus 4x plus 1. So in total, I have 9x squared minus 18x plus 9 minus 4x plus 1. So now I'm going to combine those like terms. So I have negative 18x's, taking away 4 more, so I get negative 22x. 9 plus 1 gives me plus 10. Raise your hand if you got that one fully correct. Good. That one's hard. That is a hard question. Lots of steps. Because there's so many 3s, even somehow makes it harder in some ways, right? Because it's just easier to make a mistake. Okay, cool. Let's go into this one. This one's very similar to the previous one that had that minus 1, but instead of putting it at the beginning, I put it at the end. I'm going to deal with it again very last. You could deal with it earlier, totally fine. If you deal with it earlier, remember you're only multiplying it into one set of brackets though. But I'm going to do this chunk first. 2x times 3x gives me 6x squared. 2 times minus 1, so I get minus 2x. My inner terms gives me plus 18x. And then minus 6. All of that will eventually be times by negative 2. I'm going to clean it up a little bit more. Negative 2 plus 18 gives me a positive 16x. Minus 6x times negative 2. So now I'm doubling everything and flipping the signs of everything. So I get negative 12x squared minus 32x plus 12. You have to multiply that into each term. Raise your hand if you got that one right. Nice. My numbers start dwindling. Okay, so that's then 140 points. So my grand total is 410. Right? Question? Go ahead, Krista.
If you got the where like you do the negative 2 part into it wrong, how many, like just that part wrong?
Minus 10.
So minus 10.
Raise your hand if you got above 350. Okay. Raise your hand if you got above 370. Not bad, guys. I'm impressed. Okay, we have 20-ish minutes left in class. I want you to pull out that worksheet from yesterday. I'm going to come around and sit with you one-on-one and mark what you've got done. Okay, just so you can get some feedback on them. I'm not gonna like post your marks. I just want to see where you're each at. Don't panic with this. I don't care if you're showing your work on it. I just want to see where you're at and where your level of understanding's at right now. So that's what we're gonna work on for the rest of class. If you guys want to sit in the hall and work together on it some more, go right ahead. It's just some extra practice. If you have to go to like your locker and get it, go get it. But that's what we're gonna work on for the remainder.